Okay, this is another dev diary for the 7 Days to Die Satisfactory mashup mod that I'm doing. So I'm using the UTM virtual machine system in Apple, in macOS, to run an older version. I'm running Tahoe on the machine. I'm running Sequoia in this machine so that I could run Unity 2022.3 to edit 7 Days to Die stuff. So I also had to, I mentioned in a previous video, I had to turn on Rosetta so that the package manager for Unity could run. Anyways, so I started working with the wooden chest 01 asset as a, I think Claude Code picked that. So if we look at that, let's look at, okay, so here's a mesh for the chest, the wooden chest. And I thought it was, I naively thought that it was going to be a simple 6-sided shape. But if you expand out the wooden chest prefab that I brought in, I used Asset Ripper to export the loot containers, and it gave me all these different files like these LODs, which have, the LOD has, I don't even know what this is, some kind of parent object that has a mesh and a material. And so you click on your mesh, and if you go to UV layout, it will show you what the texture file, how it's going to be mapped onto all these different surfaces. And because I'm in a VM, it's kind of slow, but you can see there's all these different pieces that grab from that texture file. So here's the texture file. Where's the texture file for this? Here's the texture file. You can see I edited it to add an arrow. And you can see all the different details in here that are mapped to all those different places. So that texture there has all these little mappings for like the handles and stuff like that. Like if you look at the wireframe, I don't know if you can look at, oh, here we go. Maybe wireframe. I don't know how to, oh, maybe just uncheck shaded. Nah, I don't know how to do it. But anyways, you can see the wireframe has all these different details on it. And those all get parts of that texture. So instead, I went for, after playing with that for a while, I went for the cardboard box. And if you look at the cardboard box, it has a mesh. And if you look at the UV layout, it is extremely simple. So there's only 6 sides. And so if you give it a PNG texture file that matches this shape, so here's the cardboard box one here, you just have to fill in these 6 areas and you'll get your shape. If you want to look at GLB files, I think these cardboard boxes came as, I think they were GLBs. I guess I could go look at that. Oh, it's in downloads. If you look in here at the cardboard boxes, you can see they have a GLB file. So I grabbed those, the 0, the 1, and the cardboard box, and I threw them in here, but they just showed up as, like, Unity didn't know what to do with them. So you go to Window, Package Manager, and then Claude said to hit the plus and go to a Git URL, and the Git URL was for this Kronos group. And I don't know if it shows it here, but there's a Unity GLTF plugin that you can get, and it will, as soon as you install that, it did a couple passes of installing, and then the cardboard box ended up showing up so that I can see the UV map. So let's fire up 7 Days to Die. I have the skip intro in here and the skip news screen true, so I can start it up faster. Oh, this thing that popped up in the top right-hand corner, I can't see my mouse, is apparently it's Shift Escape. I had never seen the escape symbol before. And I have a mod that automatically starts up your last game and hits spawn for you. Okay. So here is the smelter, the automatic smelter that I made. And the textures are upside down. Here's the top, although that might be the bottom, who knows. Actually, no, the bottom looks correct. So what I did was I went into Grom Imagine. Well, I went into Grok, and I told it I wanted it to make Grom Imagine prompts to make the 6 different sides of the smelter. And then I had Claude Code make up a program that would take those 6 individual files, and they all had to be like 650 by 650, and it put them into a 2048 by 2048 texture. And then that's what we got out the other side. So I think it looks much better than these. This is an experiment I tried where I got Grok to make some, post-apocalyptic DIY cases, like a conveyor and a drill, but they didn't turn out very well, and partly because of all these extra pieces that you have to put on. You see in the UV mapper. Apparently UV is just like XY, but for doing texture atlases. So that worked. The glass blocks didn't work because they had the same texture on all sides, but the cardboard box had different textures on each side. So Claude Code went through a lot of these assets and found that one. And then I think I just wanted to show the cardboard box. We go into Unity assets. So I had to take, I got them as JPEGs. So you can see the JPEG here. Oh no, that was one of the originals. It was Grok Smelter, stuff like this. I got them as JPEGs and then turned them into PNGs with the slip command that Claude Code gave me. And then I had to make them 650 by 650. And then somewhere in here, we got, I think it's in resources. Here's the Atlas file. So these, the auto smelter, I think all 4 of these ones are upside down, maybe because of the UV map that Claude Code made. But this is the texture file that you need, and Claude Code made that for me. So it'll map these. The UV map will map these to the different sides of the smelter. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I learned? How to do texture maps? Oh yeah, well, I went into, well, I won't show you that, but I just went into Grok and got it to make the prompts to get Grom Imagine to make the pictures, and just use a 1-to-1 ratio, and yeah, Grok learned how to tell it, like, take up the full screen and things like that. So I think that's it. I think everybody's up to date.